Alright, so today is the 10-minute speaking video, and I'm gonna spend my time on just speak whatever I want, because I don't want to, speak some useless stuff. Actually, it's not useless because I want to improve my skills on, so I have to try really hard for that. Alright, yeah, and so, um, alright, so for that. I'm gonna spend more time for my stuff. Yeah, and okay, so what should I do now? I'm not gonna sure what should I do now. Maybe I'm gonna spend more time for working on this one, or I just spend more time on my speaking for my speaking skill, or spend more time on my pronunciation. I don't know. All right. So let's get started. I'm not gonna care about her anymore. All right. So let's get started. So for this one, I'm gonna just read it by myself. But before that, let me open Google Meet for this one. It's gonna be right here. Then I'm gonna go to the Google Meet, and I'm gonna go here, open it, new meeting. Oh, start an instant meeting. Then turn off the camera. Show now. Then turn on the caption. Yeah, it's pretty good, don't I? Yeah, it's pretty good. So now, in this speaking, I'm gonna just say whatever I want, and I'm gonna spend more time on practicing my speaking skill as well as my pronunciation skill. Yeah, so let's get started. Although I knew this would be the most important day of my life, but could it be the beginning of a new and better life, or citizen there finish the thought? The face of the kitchen clock was so stand from the leaks in the ceiling that Audrey could hardly matter of the time. 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, still an hour and a half before she would be able to make a phone call. For the 100th time that day, she searched her sweater pocket for a piece of paper with the number. It was still there. Audrey's mother was at the stove preparing supper. Suddenly, she turned around and said sharply, Audrey, don't just sit there doing nothing. The devil fight work for your hand. Have you finished your homework? Audrey was second out of her thoughts. Yes, madam. She dragged it out of her words. She didn't like lying to her mother. But what was the point of studying? She thought. By this time tomorrow evening, she will probably be miles and miles away from this town and everything she hated about it. Once again, she reached into her pocket. Then she stood up nervously and walked into the next room. Maybe baby was awake. How nice, how nice it would be to play with her one more time. But no, baby was sound asleep. Back in the kitchen, she checked the lock again. Only 6:10. How slowly time was moving. As her mother was still busy at the stove. Soon the usual supper of cabbage and turnip greens with pork fat would be streaming on the table. How did that woman always have so much energy after a long day's work? Audrey wondered. The good Lord meant that we should have one big meal a day, her mother often said, and somehow the Lord always provided, whether money was scarce or not. Well, her mother she said as he turned to her, how about setting the table? Audrey obeyed silently. Out came the cracked chipped dishes from the cupboard. She packed one tablecloth from the drawer. How depressing they were. How depressing it was to be so poor. Suddenly, Audrey noticed an unopened letter on the cupboard and shelves. It was addressed to her mother. But looking at the handwriting, she knew it was from Bernadine. Across the front of the envelope, her mother was written "Return to sender." Andre finished setting the table and sat down. But her heart was beating quickly. She wanted so much to say something about the letter. But she didn't dare. Her mother would only say, "The Lord never meant that girl to be my daughter." She'd be angry at Audrey for bringing the subject up. It had been nearly 3 years since she'd last seen her sister. How she missed her and how much she needed her at times. "You'd better feed baby now." Her mother handed her a bowl of hot cereal. "I'm running late and I don't want to be on time for prayer meeting." Audrey felt like yelling at the top of her voice. "Stop calling her baby, just give her a name. She's Bernadine's baby and she's almost 3 years old." Audrey entered the tiny room with the cereal in her hand, and she looked around. How happy she was gonna be to get out of this place, those few broken sticks of furniture, that narrow bed she used to share with her mother and Bernadine. She'd never live crowded like this again, she vowed to herself. Baby awoke and started laughing. She was always glad to see Audrey, and she was such a strange child. She never cried. Audrey bent over her and held her tenderly. "Baby's the work of sin," Audrey's mother often said, or else she would talked by now. The Lord knows that what He's doing when He gives us our cross to bear. It was true that baby couldn't talk, and she hadn't yet to learn to walk either. But baby was good. She was so lovable. Tears came to Audrey's eyes as she lifted a spoonful of cereal to baby's mouth. She would miss her terribly when she left. Who would care for her and love her the way she did? Poor baby hadn't had a very good start. Audrey began thinking about baby and Bernadine. 4 years earlier, Bernadine had run away from home with a man she hardly knew. A year later, she came back looking thin, tired, and kind of old. The man had wandered off and left her chin to tiny baby. But Bernadine didn't stay at home very long. One day she just disappeared again. No one knew where she had gone. A neighbor said that Bernadine had run off with another man as was living in the nearby town. Another said that he had seen her in a canal club with some pretty first company. And there were other stories. If Bernadine had sent a letter, she must be in real trouble. Audrey thought to herself. Maybe I ought to open it myself, and she heard it open door slam. Supper was ready. Audrey gave baby her last mouthful and hurried into the kitchen. 6:35. The clock showed another 55 minutes. Audrey's mother was already sitting at the table. Her head was bowed. She was ready to say the blessing. Audrey dropped down into her chair and lowered her eyes. Her mother was running late, but she had to give a full 5 minutes to the Lord. When Audrey finally heard Thank you, Lord, for all you have given us. She sighed with the relief. She would have liked to have said, That a, that's a laugh. They ate in silence. When they were finished, all grandmother said another blessing. She always said one before and after every meal. Thanks before and thanks after. Audrey sneered to herself. And thanks for what? For misery and silence. Audrey cleared the table and began to squat dishes in the cracked sink. The roach ran across the wall in front of her. No matter how clean her mother kept the place, there was always roaches. Only another 35 minutes, she whispered to herself as she glanced at the clock. Her mother came back into the room in her only good dress. Tonight I'll be coming home later than usual, she said. I promised Sister Mary and give her a hand with some things. She left without another word. Good, thought Audrey. That will give me enough time. She went over the whole thing in her mind. At 7:30, she was to call Martin at his hotel. He'd tell her where to meet him, and they'd decide where to go from there. Don't bring anything with you, baby. I'll get you anything you need, Martin had said. Thank goodness he'd said that, thought Audrey. She had nothing to bring. Audrey had to keep telling herself she was doing the right thing. Martin had been very kind to her, and she made her feel important. He treated her like a full-grown woman, but she really hadn't known him very long. Was she going to make the same mistake Berlin had made? No, she said to herself. Isn't it? It isn't the same thing at all. I can take care of myself. Deep down, Audrey felt that any kind of life would be better than the one she had. It was now 20 minutes past 7. Still 10 minutes to go. She walked out to the hall phone now. She wanted to make sure no one would be using it. But just as she was about to step into the hall, she heard an unfamiliar noise coming from the apartment. It was Baby, and she was crying for the first time. Audrey ran back to Baby's room and took the child with her in her arms. Why is she crying? Does she understand that I'm leaving? Audrey asked herself. Don't worry, honey. She began to soothe Baby. I'll be back for you. I promise. I will let you you stay here. I'll get some money and take you to the best doctor in. Baby stopped crying. Audrey put her back into her crib. Audrey realized with a start that it must be 7:30. She rushed out the door and down the 3 flight of stairs to the telephone. No one was there. She put her dim in the slot, took the paper of her pocket, and dialed the number carefully. The moment had come. Her hand was shaking. 6, 7, 8 rings. Finally, he heard a voice. Hotel Irving. Still out of breath, Audrey could hardly get out the words. Could I speak to Mr. Martin Johnson, please? Her throat felt dry and tight. She waited. Her heart was pounding. Then he heard. Then she heard a voice say, "I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson checked out of the hotel about noon today." He what? Audrey cried out in disbelief. But the only reply she heard was a click as the phone was hung up on the other end. For a while she stood there, too shaken to move. Tears streamed down her face. Finally she started up the rickety old staircase. Each step was torture. Would she never get away from these smelly hallways? At the top of the stairs, she realized the Baby was crying again. Audrey ran in and took her up in her arms. Don't cry. I won't be leaving after all. She sobbed, and she brushed her cheek against the child's until her tears melted. After a while, Peppy quieted down. She seemed to be smiling. I'll, I'll, I'll always, I'll always be with you, Audrey whispered. Then she tucked Peppy into her grip and walked quietly out of the room. In the kitchen, she broke back completely. Never had she felt so desperate before. For a moment, she thought of running down the stairs into the street. The street, running and running until, but where would she run to? Martin had been her only hope. Now he'd let her down. She was so better than the man who had run her sister. Maybe her mother was right. Maybe all the men are rotten. It was a good thing she had found out now. But Martin, she had seemed so different. Suddenly, Audrey realized that there were footsteps on the stairs, slow footsteps. She held her breath. The sound stopped just outside her door. Was her mother back from prayer meeting so soon? Was the neighbor coming to pay a call? There was a light knock at the door. Then two ideas flashed across Audrey's mind, one after the other. It might be Martin, or it might be even be Berlin. A second clocked this time. Baby started to cry again. Audrey hurried over to the door and opened it. She let out a startled cry as her heart skipped a beat. There, standing before her, was, "Oh, all right. That is Mr. Martin Johnson." Because in this case, she heard that like, Mr. Johnson checked out of the hotel about noon today, and so he gonna just put to check out. I mean, leave the hotel to go to this house to take a girl. Yeah, that's the best idea. All right. So it's 17. That's pretty long, right? Because it's gonna be 1 pages, 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages. It's gonna be a lot. I really want this one. Alright, so now I'm gonna move on. Randomly speaking, I'm gonna speak whatever I want. Don't really care about what they're saying. What are they saying? What are they saying about me? Don't really care about them. Don't really care about them at all. About them at all. And just do whatever I want. Alright, but okay, just I mean, what do I do now? Cause I don't know what should I do for now. Yeah, should I relax, go to have some sleep, go back to my room for having some sleep, or just stay here and just learn a little bit. Should I go back to my room to have a short sleep, like about 1 hour? You want it? Actually, I don't really want it because, okay, after this one, I'm gonna go back to my room for a little bit and then for relaxing, and then I'm gonna go back here to do the 20 minutes French speaking. Uh, yeah, right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, for sure. Uh, sure. 100% sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's gonna be a very good idea. Mm, yes. What should I do now? Read some more. Yeah, but now I want to put the pen inside my mouth to feel the pain when I'm talking. Yeah, that's pretty good. I can do it pretty well. Pretty well. I can do it. I can do it pretty well. Uh, so let's try with the um, Islam couple. It's not a good idea. How about Islam? No, this one Charney. Alright, so let's get started. So let's get started. John Verney took his right hand from his pocket and knocked on Arthur Welton's door. The 9-year-old Arthur answered. Is your father at home, Arthur? Yes, Mr. Verney. Just a minute and I'll get him for you. Giving the door a chair, she disappeared into the darkness of the living room. Several minutes later, and Wilton appeared. What's your business, Verney? Well, Mr. Wilton, father is making me a fireplace for the house I just built out on Carter Road. Was wondering if you could build it for me. Wilton leaned against the door frame and crossed his arms over his chest. He raised his right hand into his chin and rubbed it thoughtfully. Beautiful, Bernie. I've heard folks say you are not too good about paying what you order. Now I'm not going to spend my time building your fireplace when I'm not gonna get paid for it. Folks don't have the business talking that way about me. Why? What with MC and the 5 children? Money just gets tight sometimes, that's all. I might pay a little bit slow now and then, but I always pay. Besides, it's getting near October and the nights are getting chilly already. My family needs a fireplace, and folks do say you're the best mason in Plymouth. She, he shoved his hand into his coat pocket and looked hopefully at Wilton. Wilton looked back at him. His hand returned to his skin. Sure as he was born, Art had heard from many a reputable man that Bernie was real slow about paying his bills, but he bothered to pay them at all. And him with a good decent paying job there, said Thomas. Fawcett has wandered most of his pay, and they did work for Bernie, only for the sake of his children Nancy, who was a decent enough type. For this Bernie, the job would cost you $100. Now I'll be needing half of that before I do the job, and the other half a day. I'm finished. Won't do it any other way. Sounds too good to me. Wilton, I can come up with the money. When can you do the job? Oh, I suppose I can start work next Monday, and I'll be over tomorrow to take a look at what you want done. Just remember, you'll be there Monday at 7 in the morning with $50 in the hand, or that firelight won't get started. Oh, Mr. Wilton, sounds good. I'll be there with the $50. She stuck out his right hand. Wilton took it briefly in his own. Okay, Bernie, good night now. He closed the door. The following Monday morning, Art drove his wagon up to the new Bernie place at 7 Sure enough, Bernie was waiting for him, and walked up to the wagon as it came to a halt. Morning, Mr. Burton. Mr. Wilton, nice day. Morning, Bernie. Got the money? Oh, well, Mr. Wilton. Fuck it. I just couldn't get the home $50 up in so a short time. I've got $40. Thought, wanna be okay? Art closed one eye and took his chin 40, eh? I promise, I'll have the other $50 when you finish. Please. Mr. Wilton, it's awfully important that we get a fabulous in. I'm moving the family into the place in 2 weeks. Oh, give me the $40, Barney. I'll be your 5 legs, but you better have that $60 that I am done. Barney smiled and got into his trouser pocket. coming up with 4 wrong bills, and placed them one by one into Wilton's outstretched hand, outstretched hand, outstretched, 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 outstretched hand. I appreciate your good heart, Mr. Wilton. Art put the money into his deep shirt pocket, trimmed nimbly off a wagon, and went to work. Between the job and some surveying he was doing for the town, it took him nearly 2 weeks to finish. He sent word to Bernard that he expected to see him on Monday morning at the new house. He had laid the last stone and was climbing up when he saw Bernard working towards him. Morning was done. So I see, you do good work, Mr. Wilton. That beats the dollars. Bernard did not look at Todd. His eyes were glued to his brand new chimney. Well, Mr. Wilton, fact is I don't have it. Only worked a few days this week, and I didn't stay around to have a rest. He picked up his tools, was climbing to his wagon, climbing and drove away. Well, Bernie said to himself, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Wilson not as tough as everyone said he is. He laughed out loud at his own cleverness. No, Wilson, since he's a smart guy, but nobody get one by Ormthorne burning. 2 days later, he moved his family into a new house. After the furniture was in, he decided to light a fire in his new fireplace. He put the dry log in and lit the kindling. Slowly it burst into flame. Looks good, don't it? Elsie, hey, wait a minute. Why is so smoky in here? Smoke's not going up to the chimney? Elsie, give me some water. Got to put that fire out quick. He did so and ran outside to join his wife, coughing like a sick man. When the smoke had cleared a bit, he went back inside and opened the windows. That person, he muttered to himself, since he's such a good mason. An hour later, the room was again filled with fresh air. Bernard went inside. He looked up to the chimney that saw nothing but the sky. I'm gonna go to South Street to see Wilton. He told Elsie, who does he think he is? Give me a fireplace that don't work. This time, when Bernard knocked on his door, Art opened it himself. He did look a bit surprised to see Bernard standing there and waited for him to speak. Your fireplace don't work? Don't work, yeah. That's right, I just lit it. And the smoke wouldn't go up to the chimney. Why? Actually, and I nearly died. Look pretty healthy to me, Bernie. Don't get smart with me, Wilson. That's the matter with that fireplace. Art struck his chin and squinted at Bernie. Well, can't say that I know, Bernie. I get a man just can't spend much for $40 fireplace these days. Bernie opened his mouth but said nothing. You come up with $60, and I'll come there and take a look. But I mean sooner. Mr. Welton, we move in today. We need the fireplace tonight. My poor little children are going to freeze to death. $60, said Art, closing the door in Bernie's face. 2 nights later, Bernie once again knocked on the Welton door, and it was once again opened by Art. I got the $60, Welton. Let's see it. Let's see it. Bernie took the word out of his pocket and slapped into his Art's hand. Art unrolled it and counted it twice. Yes, that's $3. You owe me, all right. He started to close the door. Bernie put a hand up to keep it from closing. Now, wait a minute. When you coming over to fix my fireplace? Your fireplace? Oh, that's right. You claim your fireplace needs fixing? Well, can you make it tomorrow? I got a wedding and some surveying to do. I'll be over Sunday afternoon after dinner. Be there around 2 o'clock. He closed the door before Bernie could answer. Sunday afternoon at 2:30. Wilton drove off to the new Bernie place. Tom Bernie came outside to meet him. Afternoon, Bernie. Family home? Afternoon, Mr. Wilton? No, they are over at Elsie's folks having Sunday dinner. And zoomed out his wagon. He took out a ladder and picked and walked to the house. Setting the ladder against the house, he quickly ascended to the roof, brick in hand. He walked up to the newly broke the chimney and looked down the shaft. Lifting the brick, he dropped it down to the chimney, shattering the pane of glass he had mortared in so firmly the week before. Yeah, I think that's really the end of the speaking for today. When I put the pen inside my mouth, I can feel like the pen inside my mouth is pretty bad. Don't you think about that? Alright, so let me say it again. Uh, do you know the feeling? Or when I put this pen, when I put this pen inside, when I put the pen inside my mouth, do you know the feeling? Do you know the feeling when I put this pen inside my mouth? And then when you talk it, you're gonna feel the pain, and that is huge. I mean, that is terrible, terrible, terrible. I have no idea to describe it, but anyway, that's good. I can use it for to sing my speaking skill. That's a pretty nice chance and opportunities for me to do it. So now I'm gonna get back to my work. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to Chatham High for doing some stuff. I mean, because I want to go to Chatham High because yeah. So this is the end of the speaking. So just do not do my stuff, and I don't want you guys to know it. So just I'm gonna do like this. Do this one, then just do it when I'm done. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty nice to me. And now I'm gonna go here and submit it. Research. Then research. Then here. Then let's talk about science. Yes, no, very interesting. Then research. Then here it's gonna be submitted. Yes, very interesting. No, very interesting. Research all of above. Research 4, 2, and 4. No, interesting. No, somewhat interesting. Then research. Then Toronto, Sydney, NS. Oh, that's correct. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so lucky. Research and then need to railing some stuff. I put it away. Alright, so for now, please wait. I'm gonna go here, then I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Then I'm gonna go to the second account for my stuff. The second account's gonna be around 70. Oh, that's pretty nice. I have to need to reach the 5, but it's really long stuff. That's a long process. You have to work a lot. So just do it anyway, because anyways you're gonna be the best. Anyway, you're gonna be the best. So just do it anyway. You're not gonna go there for your stuff, right? Just try it if you want to give up. So just think about it. When you fail, so who will stand up and work for your stuff? Who will do that for you? No way, right? So I mean, you have to really focus on your stuff. Just never give up, and you have a thing that you really want. And for now, I want to go research here. Then yes, interesting. No, very interesting. Research here. there's gonna be research here. Then I'm gonna go here. And then I'm gonna go to this one. I'm gonna go here. This is a really great website for me. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty nice. I mean, it's a pretty good website for me to practice, my skill of reading and the answering the question pretty fast. For the OSSLT, I have no idea what should I do right now. Is it the end of? Oh, holy cow! I'm gonna have it in 2 or 3 months. I have to improve my writing skill a lot. Yeah, that's a huge, a really difficult stuff to focus on. Don't you really think about that? Sure, I really think about that. It's pretty, that's pretty hard for me to just focus on it. What do you think about that? Oh, where is it? It's gonna be here, that's gonna be it. It's gonna be A and C. 95. All of above. Is that correct? Then biomechanics. Oh, that's pretty nice. Then I have this check for 300. 3 correct. Then it's gonna be all together. Oh, 4 together. Oh, that's pretty nice. I'm so lucky for today. I think I'm gonna set that at 5. True. It's gonna be 4. Wow. That's incredible. Oh, this one is gonna be the wrong one. This should be the wrong one. I told you. That's pretty nice that I can do this so far. I can go this far. Yeah, I'm gonna say a good thing to myself that I can do this so far. Like 5 questions with the correct continuously. So that's pretty nice and it's pretty perfect. Because I like it. I like it. It's gonna be here, and here. It's gonna be something new about higher education program. It helped me to understand more about the education program, the education programs, in order to have a better look for my future. So that's pretty nice. Then so it's gonna be note 3 or log it out. Then I'm gonna go to number 4, number 5. Number 5, number 6, number 7. They're mostly done, I believe so. Or maybe it's not done. I don't know. I got the correct one. It's gonna be 18 months. No, it's not correct. I'm sure that's not correct. It should be 12 months, I think. Maybe it's gonna be 24 months, 2 years. It's not that high, don't you think about that? I think it's pretty slow. Or or you mean you want to have more stuff on it? I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so let me say it again. So Charter High is a website, a really good website for high school students who who don't know what to do in the future, who don't have any vision for the future, is gonna go here, they're gonna have a bad idea. What is it, uh, the university or college is about, and what is fit for them for their future. So that's a pretty good idea. Don't you think about that? Yeah, that's pretty nice. And it's gonna be here. It's gonna be here. It's gonna be near 80%. It's a bit like that. Just to log in. Let's start quiz. Right, that's my normal stuff. So let's start it. It's gonna be number 6, right? Yeah, this gonna be number 6. And after I do this one, I'm gonna go to number 7. Sure. Yeah, purchased for then saving research. Oh my god, it's pretty bad. It's number 6, number 7. Number 6, it should be there. It should be there. I told you. It should be number 6. So that it should be, but it must be number 6. It's the thing that I did it and I just closed it by accident. So I think that it should be number 6. Let's so you see that? I'm gonna go okay, and then next question, and then it's gone. Boop boop. Right, it's pretty fast. So in order to save time, but I'm not sure if I do it correctly. Or did I make any mistake? I don't know. Alright, so let's get started. This is gonna be the last question, right? Yeah, the last one. Alright, then I'm gonna just check the price for a little bit. It's gonna be 500. Ooh. Ooh. Yesterday I see it and it's just like 424. But now it's gonna be 460. 460. That's pretty terrible, bro. 460. That is insane. Yeah, 460. That is insane. 460. 470. Oh my goodness. That's a lot. I have no idea for that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Try more, do more. What should I do now? For earning money, they all that just because they want the money? Are you kidding me? How that is possible? I mean, how that is possible? It's not possible. Yeah, it's not possible. How can they rise to this one after one day? Maybe he has like the account that oh yeah, it might be this time this one. One account, 10 accounts can be 10 for one day. It just 10 for one day. It can be like okay, so 20 to 6 days can be 40, 60, 100 in one day. That's it. That is impossible unless you unless it's not one person, but maybe more than one person. Yeah, right. I believe so. It's gonna be more than one person. Yeah. Alright. It's mostly done. So I'm gonna go to my room, go back to my room for relaxing for a little bit. I'm gonna go here to do the French cooking. Alright, so I'll see you again later. See you later. It's gonna be here, then it's just turning out.